Have you ever wondered how some people make money online while they sleep? The truth is, in 2026, more people than ever are building online side hustles that generate hundreds, sometimes thousands of dollars every single month. And the best part? Episode. Or perhaps you spend time scrolling through social media feeds where you see acquaintances posting about their latest dream vacations to beautiful destinations or proudly showing off their shiny new cars. And you cannot help but wonder how exactly they manage to afford all these luxurious things in their lives without any visible struggle or financial stress apparent. Well, today I am going to pull back the curtain completely on the true financial reality of the average person living in America right now, and I guarantee that some of these surprising numbers are going to shock you in ways you might not expect at all. Some of these statistics might actually make you feel a lot better about your own current situation, while others could serve as a serious wake-up call that prompts immediate changes in how you approach your money management and future planning decisions every single day. Either way, by the end of this entire video, you will have a crystal clear picture of exactly where you stand financially compared to everyone else around you, so you can make smarter choices moving forward with confidence and clarity. My name is Bob, and I help regular people just like you understand money, personal finance strategies, and the best ways to build real long-term wealth, starting from where you are today without any complicated tricks or shortcuts involved at all. If you are truly interested in getting your personal finances properly on track and maybe even getting ahead of the pack compared to most people around you, make sure to subscribe to the channel right now and hit the like button if this valuable information helps you out in any meaningful way today. Before we dive straight into these eye-opening statistics, let me ask you something important when you think about the average person's overall financial situation. What exactly comes to mind first in your thoughts right now without any hesitation? Do you picture someone who has their entire act completely together, steadily building wealth month after month, and carefully preparing for a comfortable retirement without any major worries or financial setbacks along the way? Or do you instead imagine someone who is basically living paycheck to paycheck every single month, just hoping that everything will somehow work out fine in the end without any real planning or strategy in place? The truth is that most of us have absolutely no clear idea what normal actually looks like when it comes to money matters, and we might have all sorts of assumptions based purely on what we see around us daily. But the reality is often very different from what we imagine in our minds, and here is the thing that makes this whole fascinating topic so incredibly relevant for everyone who wants to improve their financial health right away. Understanding these important numbers is not just about satisfying your natural curiosity, but it is really about giving you all the key information you need to make much better decisions with your own hard-earned money every single day. Think about it this way: if you are truly trying to get in better physical shape, would not you want to know exactly what the average person weighs or how much exercise they actually do on a regular basis for comparison? If you are trying hard to improve your school grades, would not you want to know precisely how you compare to other students in your class so you can adjust your study habits accordingly without wasting time? Money works exactly the same productive way, and when you fully understand where you currently stand compared to everyone else around you, then you can make far more informed choices about your spending, saving, and investing strategies. So let us start with something that affects every single working person in this country, and that is income. When you cash your paycheck every 2 weeks, are you earning more or less than the typical worker does? According to the most recent available data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the median weekly earnings for a full-time worker came in at just over $1,000, which works out to roughly $52,000 per year before any taxes are taken out. Now let me break that important figure down a bit more clearly. We are talking strictly about individual income here and not household income, which would naturally include a spouse or other family members who might also be working full-time. And when we say median, that simply means half of all workers earn more than this specific amount, while the other half earns less. So it truly represents the very middle of the entire pack in terms of earnings. If you are making around $26 per hour, then you are right there alongside the average full-time worker in this country. But here is where the situation starts to get really interesting and a little more complex. That $52,000 figure is completely before Uncle Sam takes his fair share through taxes and after federal taxes, state taxes, Social Security, and Medicare deductions. That number shrinks pretty quickly, depending on where exactly you live. You might be taking home somewhere between $35,000 and $40,000 annually after all those deductions are applied, and suddenly, that amount does not seem like quite as much money as it first appeared to be. But income alone is just one single piece of the much larger financial puzzle, and what really matters most is what people are actually doing with that money once they have earned it through their hard work. And this is precisely where things start to get really fascinating and honestly, a little bit concerning for a lot of people who are not fully prepared for their future financial needs and retirement goals. Let us talk about retirement savings because this is an area where a lot of people are going to experience a rude awakening when they see the actual numbers from reliable surveys conducted recently across the country. According to the Federal Reserve's most recent comprehensive survey, the median amount that Americans have saved specifically for retirement stands at only $65,000, which includes everyone of all ages who actually have accounts. Now, before you start feeling too good or too bad about that particular number, remember that this figure includes people of all ages. And about 25% of Americans do not even have any retirement account at all. They have literally $0 saved for when they eventually stop working, and that means 1 out of every 4 people you meet is planning to rely entirely on Social Security benefits when they retire. For those who do have some retirement savings, the numbers vary dramatically, depending on age groups, and some of them are pretty alarming, especially for younger workers who are just starting out in their careers. People under 25 years old have a median balance of less than $2,000 now. To be fair, if you are 23 and just beginning your career, having $2,000 saved is actually not terrible at all. The 25 to 34 age group does a bit better with a median balance of around $14,000. But even that amount seems pretty small when you consider these people have been working for several years already. By the time we reach the 65 and older crowd, the median balance climbs to around $88,000. And while that might sound like a decent chunk of change, let us put it properly in perspective. If you retire with $88,000 and follow the traditional 4% withdrawal rule, you would only be able to pull out about $3,500 per year from your retirement accounts, which is less than $300 per month. Think about that amount carefully for a second. Could you realistically live on only $300 per month during retirement, even if you own your home outright and have no mortgage payment at all? This is exactly why understanding these statistics is so vitally important if you are in your 20s, 30s, or 40s. And looking at these retirement numbers, you should be having a serious conversation with yourself about saving enough. Speaking of Social Security, since so many people are planning to rely on it heavily, let us look at what the average benefit actually provides in real monthly terms for retirees. The Social Security Administration reports that the average monthly benefit is around $1,550, which adds up to about $18,600 per year in total income. Now, $18,000 might sound like it could be workable, especially if you do not have a mortgage payment. But remember, this is only the average payment, and your benefit could be significantly lower. On the flip side, some people take a completely different approach to Social Security by planning their retirement, assuming they will not receive a single dime, treating any benefit as an unexpected bonus. This cautious mindset might seem overly careful, but given the long-term funding challenges facing the program, it is probably not a bad way to think about your future financial security at all. But let us shift gears now and talk about something that affects your day-to-day life right now, and that is spending. How much does the average household actually spend each month on all their needs? According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, American households spend an average of about $5,577 per month, which over the course of a full year adds up to roughly $67,000 in total spending. Now, think carefully about what this spending total really means. If the average household is spending $67,000 per year, they need to bring home at least that much just to break even every month. And remember, we are talking about take-home pay here after taxes, so if you want any money left over for savings, investments, or building wealth, you need to be earning significantly more than $67,000 per year as a household. This spending breaks down into some pretty predictable categories, but the exact amounts might surprise you. The biggest chunk by far goes to housing, which should not shock anyone who has ever paid rent or a mortgage. The average household spends about $1,885 per month on housing costs, which includes rent or mortgage payments, property taxes, insurance, utilities, and regular maintenance every single month. Food comes in as the second biggest expense, with the average household spending about $691 per month on groceries and dining out, which totals over $8,000 per year just to keep everyone fed properly. Transportation eats up another $913 per month, which covers car payments, insurance, gas maintenance, and public transportation, totaling nearly $11,000 per year just to get from point A to point B reliably. And this is exactly why some financial experts strongly suggest that your combined housing and transportation costs should not exceed 50% of your total income to leave room for other important needs and savings. Now let us dive into something that can truly make or break your entire financial future, and that is credit scores. Most people know they should care about their score, but they might not know where they stand. According to Experian, the average FICO score in America is 715, which is actually pretty solid since scores range from 300 to 850, placing the average in good credit territory. This number means that a lot of people are doing at least some important things right when it comes to managing their credit by generally paying bills on time and keeping debt levels reasonable overall. But do not let that 715 average fool you into thinking everyone has their credit situation completely figured out, because there are still plenty of people with scores in the 500s and 600s. Your credit score affects everything from your mortgage rate to your car loan terms, and even some employers check credit scores before hiring you for certain positions in the company. The good news is that maintaining a decent credit score is not rocket science at all. Just pay your bills on time, do not max out your credit cards, and avoid opening new accounts unnecessarily. Speaking of credit, let us talk about the elephant in the room, which is credit card debt, because this is where things get ugly fast for the average household in America today. The average household is carrying over $9,000 in credit card debt, and that is not a car loan or a mortgage where you are buying something that actually holds value over time. What makes this situation even more painful are the high interest rates on credit cards, which can reach 15, 20, or sometimes 25% or higher, depending on your credit profile. Most of that debt comes from buying things people do not actually need, like clothes, electronics, dinners out, online shopping, sprees, and impulse purchases that seemed like a good idea at the time. The solution is pretty straightforward, even if it is not always easy to implement. Just pay off your credit card balances in full every single month. And if you cannot afford to pay cash, do not put it on credit. Now let us talk about net worth, which is probably the single best number for accurately measuring your overall financial health, and it is simply what you own minus everything you owe. Add up the value of your house, cars, bank accounts, retirement accounts, and everything else you own. Then subtract your mortgage, credit card debt, student loans, and any other money you owe to get the total. According to the Federal Reserve, the median net worth for American households is about $122,000. But just like with retirement savings, this number varies dramatically by age. If you are under 35, the median net worth is less than $14,000. Now, if you are 25 and just starting your career, having $14,000 in net worth is not terrible at all. The 35 to 44 age group does better with a median net worth of $91,000, while the 45 to 54 crowd reaches $168,000. People between 55 and 64 have a median net worth of $212,000, and those 65 to 74 years old reach $266,000. Here is what I find truly fascinating about these numbers. They are actually pretty achievable for most people who have decent incomes and practice some basic financial discipline consistently over time. How much of their income is the average person actually setting aside each month? According to the Bureau of Economic Analysis, Americans save about 6% of their income after taxes, and that is it. 6% might not sound terrible at first, but let us think about what this really means if some of that savings needs to go towards short-term goals like buying a car or a home down payment. Most financial experts strongly suggest saving at least 10 to 15% of your income, specifically for retirement, and that is on top of whatever you are setting aside for other important goals. This brings us to something that might surprise you. When do you think most people actually stop working? If you guess 65, you would be close. But not quite right. According to recent data, the average retirement age in America is 61. Now that might sound pretty good at first. Who would not want to retire at 61 and enjoy their golden years freely? But here's the catch: most people cannot collect their full Social Security benefits until age 67. So if you retire at 61, you have got 6 full years to bridge that gap somehow. Someone who reaches age 65 can expect to live another 19 to 21 years. So if you retire at 61, you might have 25 years or more of retirement to fund completely. 25 years is a long time longer than most people have worked up to that point. And here's the question that should keep you up at night. How many of those years will you be healthy enough to enjoy fully? This is why understanding these financial statistics is not just about satisfying curiosity, but about recognizing that the average person's approach to money is not working very well for long-term security. When the typical American has less than $90,000 saved for retirement and is carrying $9,000 in credit card debt, something is seriously wrong with the overall picture for most people. But here's the good news: once you know exactly what average looks like, it becomes pretty clear how to do much better than average without needing any magical formula or secret knowledge. If you are consistently saving more than 6% of your income, you are already ahead of most people. If you are avoiding credit card debt, you are way ahead of the game completely. If you understand what you are investing in and you are actually putting money into retirement accounts on a regular basis, you are lapping the competition by a significant margin. If the average household is spending $5,500 per month, and you can figure out how to live comfortably on $4,500, you have just freed up $12,000 per year. Do that consistently for a few decades, and you will be in a completely different financial league than most of your peers, and the compound effect over time becomes massive. Earn a bit more than $52,000 per year, save more than 6%, avoid credit card debt, and invest consistently in low-cost index funds, and you will retire with significantly more than $88,000. What I find most interesting about all of this is how these numbers reveal the gap between what people say they want and what they actually do in their daily financial habits. Everyone says they want financial security, everyone says they want to retire comfortably, and everyone says they want to stop worrying about money. But their behavior often does not match these stated goals. If you are watching this video and some of these statistics hit a little too close to home, do not panic, because the fact that you are here learning about money already puts you ahead of a lot of people. The key is to use these numbers as powerful motivation, not as an excuse to give up if you are 35. With less than $14,000 in net worth, you have some work to do, but plenty of time. And if you are already doing better than these averages in some areas, do not let that success make you complacent. Maybe your retirement savings are still behind schedule. Or maybe you are great at saving money, but you are keeping it all in a savings account, earning practically nothing, instead of investing it wisely for real long-term growth and returns. The bottom line is this: these financial statistics of the average person should be eye-opening, but they should also be truly empowering when you know what normal looks like. You can decide if you want to be normal. Personally, I think you deserve better than retiring at 61 with only $88,000 and hoping Social Security does not run out of money before you need it most. You deserve better than carrying credit card debt and spending every single dollar you earn. You deserve the real peace of mind that comes with having your entire financial house completely in order. These statistics show us where the average person ends up, but they do not have to define where you end up. Use them as a starting point, not a finish line. Because once you understand what most people are doing with their money, it becomes pretty clear how to do something different and get much better results over the long term ahead.